making sure enough of your devices are sold. And for every quarter that's missed, that does impact their stock price. So yes, they're looking to the long term. They want to make sure that they're, over 5 years that the stock price increases by so much money. But any blip in the quarterly numbers hurts that. And so it's one of those things where, yes, they're reaping the benefits of their longer term tenure, but any kind of short-term bump is not what they're looking for either. And so it does still kind of drive the short-termism, even though they are kind of benefiting from just staying in their seats longer.
There are always critics, we know, of CEO pay. Is there any evidence that this compensation is leading to rising healthcare costs for all of us?
Taken together, we looked at 275 companies here, and altogether they made about $3.6 billion across everybody, which obviously is a ton of money for just less, for fewer than 300 people. We live in a healthcare system that costs $5 trillion. So this amount of money is not necessarily driving everything up, but it dictates the incentives of the companies, right? Mm-hmm. If these companies say, we will pay you more over the long term, if your stock price rises over the long term, that means you're going to do stuff that most likely makes healthcare more expensive. Like I said, if you're a drug company, you want to drive up sales. That means hiking prices, getting more volume out there. Same with hospitals and insurance companies, making sure that costs actually don't stay constrained. You want to make a profit on a bigger amount of money that you're managing. So I think that the incentives are pretty clear here that it doesn't make sense for these companies to lower the cost of healthcare, to lower prices at all. It's in their financial best interest to make sure that, revenue and profits only increase. And I think there are obvious detrimental impacts to patients and just regular workers out there.
We've been talking to Bob Herman. He reports on the business of healthcare for STAT, the Health and Medicine publication. Bob, thanks so much.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Here and Now is a production of NPR and WBUR. I'm Scott Tong in Washington, D.C.
I'm Sarah McCammon.
I would like to welcome Stake Relief Society Presidency Second Counselor Sister Andrea Simpkins and Stacy Reese to come forward to the podium. And Ms. Reese, I invite you to tell us a little bit about your church. You can come on up. And then I invite Sister Simmons to lead us in prayer. And when Sister has finished with the prayer, I invite everybody to stand for the prayer, remain standing in the boardroom to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity. We really appreciate it. I'm going to let Andrea, Sister Simmons, tell you a lot about the Relief Society. But the Relief Society is our women's organization. It's a global organization, and she is one of the members of the stake presidency here in this area.
Okay.
She is wonderful, so she helps lead us.
Well, thank you, Stacy. That's very kind. I'm always happy to have the opportunity to tell people about Relief Society. It's something that I really care about. Like Stacy said, it is the charitable organization of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It was organized for the women in the church in 1842, and there are now almost 7 million members worldwide. We want all women in our group, whatever their background, their interests, their political opinions, or their career choices, to feel welcome and to know that they belong in Relief Society. We all have strengths to bring to the group and a lot to learn from each other. And we share a common purpose. That has always been to encourage others to believe in Jesus Christ, but also to relieve their suffering and to try to meet their physical and emotional needs. Our motto is charity never faileth. By charity, we mean Christ-like love, the kind that is sincere, unselfish, and non-judgmental. That kind of love cannot fail to make a positive impact in the lives of others. I've been in the leadership of Relief Society for several years now, first as the president of my local congregation and now as second counselor to the president of the Roanoke area. And in that time, I've learned what a real and lasting impact women can have in each other's lives when we make an effort to connect with each other. Whether it's putting together a schedule of meals for sick women or their families, organizing activities or support groups where we try to tackle common life problems, helping out someone who's new in the area, handling funeral arrangements for each other, or just being there to listen. That extends beyond our own group and into our community. We are really trying to get more involved in helping local organizations as individual volunteers or as group service projects. And Stacy has been a great help to us in finding ways to connect with groups that we want to support. We recently did a service project with the Huddle Up Moms nonprofit group that's helping women and children in the area. We organized clothing donations, and it was so wonderful to meet them and support them in our small way. So I've lived in Roanoke for about 15 years. I grew up in the Seattle area, which is a really nice place, but it doesn't have the same special feel that we have here in Roanoke. My husband and I and our 4 kids have all had such good experiences with school, with work, with our kids' sports teams, and with our neighbors, and that's because almost everyone we meet here is doing their best to be kind and helpful. There are so many wonderful people here, people like you, who give their precious time to helping others. And I know I speak for all my friends in Relief Society when I say how much we appreciate that and how much we value being part of this community. And I'll just end by saying that in my experience, there's something really special about working together with others in a good cause. And it brings a spirit of love that I believe comes from a God who's pleased to see his children of all religious affiliations working together to do good things. So thank you for letting me share those thoughts with you. And now I will offer a prayer. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for the opportunity to be gathered here today. We're thankful to live in a beautiful place and among so many good people. We're thankful for the service of those who are here today to help our community. Please bless them and their families for the time and effort that they are dedicating to making this a good place for all of us to live. Please bless them with inspiration to make good decisions. Please help all of us to be kind and patient in our interactions with other people every day. Help us to be unselfish and forgiving. Please help us always to see past any differences we might have with people and instead always treat them first as children of God and as our fellow brothers and sisters in your family. We're so grateful for the many blessings we receive from you each day, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon and welcome to our meeting for August 19th, 2025. Regular meetings are held on the second and fourth Tuesday at 2 p.m. Public hearings are held at 6 p.m. on the fourth Tuesday of each month. Deviations from the schedule will be announced. The meetings are broadcast live on RVTV Channel 3 and will be rebroadcast on Friday at 7 p.m. and on Sunday from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Board of Supervisors meetings can also be viewed online through Roanoke County's website at www.roanokecountyva.gov. Individuals who require assistance or special arrangements to participate in or attend the Board of Supervisors meeting should contact our clerk to the board at 540-772-2005 at least 48 hours in advance. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on silence. We move to item A, number 1, roll call. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mrs. Hooker.
Here.
Mr. North.
Here.
Mr. Mahoney.
Here.
Mrs. Shepherd.
Here.
Mr. Radford.
Here. We move to item B, request to postpone, add to, or change the order of agenda items. Is there any request to postpone, add to, or change the order of the agenda, fellow board members?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Kaywood.
No changes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Lubeck.
No changes, sir.
Thank you. We move to item C, second reading of ordinance. Item 1, ordinance authorizing the acceptance of real property containing approximately 1,060.51 acres, known as Explorer Park, owned by the Virginia Recreational Facilities Authority, and approving an agreement with the Virginia Recreational Facilities Authority for administrative and financial support. Doug Blunt, Assistant County Administrator. Mr. Blunt, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I'm delighted to be in front of you today to discuss the acquisition of Explorer Park from the Virginia Recreational Facilities Authority. Today, I'd like to walk you through the history of Explorer Park, go over the park accomplishments during the 99-year lease, the path to park ownership, what's next for Explorer Park, and then discuss the board packet documents that's in your packet for today. Explorer Park started in the late 80s. The original goal was for the VRFA to purchase 2,000 acres of land and recreate what it was like for settlers in the 17 and 1800s, how they lived in the western part of the state. This was to be an educational opportunity, a tourism opportunity, but also to be able to replicate history that otherwise was not being told in this part of the state. The original concept was to be a Lewis and Clark themed park. Over the course of Explorer Park's 1.0 history, the park was a lot of different things. Ultimately became a living history museum, and that was much of what Roanoke County became involved in the 2000s. Unfortunately, the park was not sustainable as a living history museum, and it closed to the public in 2008. At that time, there was a Florida investor by the name of Larry Vandermaiden that was interested in building a multi-million-dollar resort at Explorer Park. But unfortunately, with the financial collapse in the late 2000s, that never came to fruition. And in 2010, all of the options that he had on the property had expired. So at that time, the Virginia Recreational Facilities Authority came up with what they referred to as Plan B, which was to be a way to be able to generate revenue to bring some level of sustainability back to the park. And that unfortunately was never to take place. So in 2013, at the time, Mike Altizer was chairman of the Board of Supervisors. He entered into negotiations with the VRFA to develop a 99-year lease for Explorer Park. As a part of the 99-year lease for the park, Roanoke County developed a new vision for the park. This was going to be the starting place for individuals and families seeking adventure and enrichment in the outdoors. The focus was going to be on expanding recreational opportunities such as hiking and biking, trails, greenways, river access, overnight camping, and educational opportunities. This was also going to be an economic and tourism driver for the region, especially for Roanoke County. Roanoke County began a very public and detailed process to go through to develop the master plan, and I'll go through some of those aspects here in a few minutes. But the Board of Supervisors in 2016 adopted the adventure plan for the park. This included key amenities such as zip lines, mountain bike trails, disc golf course, river attractions, overnight accommodations, the Roanoke River Greenway, special events, and food and retail operations. The Board of Supervisors, being very courageous, invested in this vision. When I first came to the county in 2011, Explorer Park did not have a very positive reputation. There wasn't a great deal of success over the previous years, and a lot of people felt that there was the money that had been invested by the county, the state, and the federal government had not been used wisely. And so this was a huge undertaking to be able to change the public perception here locally, but the Board of Supervisors believed in that vision, and over the last decade has invested over $8 million in infrastructure, as well as over $4 million in grant funding that's been secured from other funding agencies. This allowed the park to be able to have the infrastructure needed to be able to support much of the activities that was envisioned for the park. This helped with developing trail improvements, bringing public water and sewer to the park, developing a mountain bike center. We needed road improvements, sidewalks, building repairs, constructed an internationally ranked disc golf course, a brew pub, treetop quest, outdoor lodging, and of course the Roanoke River Greenway. One of the things that I want to point out that I think is very important with the success of Explorer Park under Roanoke County's management is in 2013 when we started, there was only about 30,000 people visiting a year at the park. Through the end of 2024, we were over 291,000 people coming through the park gates to utilize the facilities and services that are offered there. We began working on the East Roanoke River Greenway. Today, we've constructed 2.4 miles of greenway going towards the park, connecting into it. Currently, 1.4 miles is under construction through Explorer Park, down along the river, and this is going to be some of the most scenic greenway that is going to be built here in the area. It is quite spectacular. So as a part of the adventure plan, we've been able to create places to play with treetop quest, river access for tubing, kayaking, mountain bike trails. We've created a whole series of new programs and activities, such as offering day camp, Go Outside Festival. We've got a new event coming up here just in a little over a week, Paired Heads on the Parkway with live music. And so we're really proud of the programs and activities that we've created at the park. We also opened up a mountain bike skills park through partnership with the Department of Conservation and Recreation. It's created skills areas and riding for all ages and abilities to be able to learn how to use mountain bike trails. We've created places to stay with cabins and yurts and private partners to help with investment in the park. We've also added live entertainment. This past Friday, we hosted the largest ever concert at Explorer Park with 1,000 people in attendance. With the infrastructure that's been invested in Explorer Park, we've also been able to now host national events. USA Cycling hosted the Mountain Bike Championship at Explorer Park. Many of you were able to attend that event. We were able to host 12,000 people over 3 days at Explorer Park. And then, of course, we created a signature event at Explorer Park that very much is what we are known for, and that is Illuminates. As you can see, when we started in 2019 with a little over 40,000 visits, we're now averaging in the low 50,000 visitors a year during Christmas, and this has become a annual affair for families to be able to celebrate the holidays. So the path to park ownership, this has been a process that's been in the works for many years. Roanoke County has worked with the VRFA Board of Directors during this time to discuss how ownership could take place. There's been numerous meetings with the Department of Conservation and Recreation, and we're very appreciative that Senator Head and Delegate Davis both entered bills in the General Assembly this past year. Both of these bills were successful, and Governor Youngkin signed the bill into law in March of 2025. From there, Roanoke County worked with the Virginia Recreational Facilities Authority, which the bill gave them the legal ability to be able to transfer the land to Roanoke County. And on July 30th, the VRFA Board of Directors voted to transfer 1,060 acres to Roanoke County. And of course, we're here today for the board to take up this issue. So what's next? We want to be able to focus on the final implementation of the master plan. We want to be able to work on additional economic development with attracting the lodge and other commercial businesses. We also want to be able to create additional signature events, but also add to the park acreage to be able to continue the work that we've been able to do with private investment in the park. And we want to be able to add additional activities at Rutroff Point once the Roanoke River Greenway is completed. We still have 388 acres in Bedford County that is pristine farmland that can be developed for a variety of different uses, and so there still is a lot to be accomplished with Explorer Park. So I do want to say a big thank you. There's lots of people that I have on this list, and it's going to be hard to go through each and every one. But there's been a lot of people over the last decade that's helped Explorer Park to get us through today. First and foremost is to the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors for believing in the vision of the park. And this is not just the current board, but this is many boards before that has had the opportunity to be able to work with Explorer Park. Again, want to thank Senator Head and Delegate Davis for their work in the General Assembly. And then I also want to thank VRFA Chairman Tucker Lemon and VRFA Attorney Greg Haley for their work, because none of this would be possible without their leadership. All right, so in your package, you've got several documents for me to be able to discuss briefly. You've got the deed that is fairly self-explanatory. We do have a bill of sale for the property for $1. We also then have a quite lengthy property description section. This is, we actually used what was in the 99-year lease for the property descriptions. So that is because of the number of parcels that we have, we did not do an additional survey for these. We took what we had already had with the lease. Then we have a lease termination document and continued support agreement. Certainly this, with taking ownership, there is no need for the 99-year lease, but we have committed to assisting the VRFA with their administrative support as well as being the fiscal agent through June 30th of 2026. This will give the VRFA the ability to decide what their future will be, whether they want to work with another locality or if they want to take on other projects or make other determinations. And then lastly, I just wanted to outline Bedford County's request. We were very fortunate to be able to develop a great working relationship with Bedford County with Explorer Park and what the future looks like. And so Bedford County did ask for several items to be included, and these was in the resolution of support that they passed in December, and then the Board of Supervisors passed in December of 2024 as well. The first is that Roanoke County will not seek a boundary line adjustment for the property that is located in Bedford. Roanoke County will display sensitivity to future branding that will appropriately identify portions of Explorer Park as being located in Bedford County. And then certainly Roanoke County will adhere to any ordinances, including but not limited to the collection and retention of tax revenues. Mr. Chairman, a couple things that I also want to highlight. Chairman Lemon of the VRFA board is here, and so at the appropriate time, he would like to address the board. But at this time, staff does recommend adoption of the ordinance, and I would be happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Okay, would anybody oppose having Mr. Lemon come up and make his comments now?
Sure.
Is that okay? Yeah, Mr. Lemon, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Redford, and thank you, members of the Board of Supervisors. Doug put up quite a long list. I won't go through, but I did want to say a few thanks as Mr. Blount had done. First of all, I'd like to thank all the members of my board, the VRFA, two of which are sitting up there with you, both past board members and present, for all of the service that they have done for this region and for the Commonwealth over the almost 40 years that the VRFA has been in existence. As Mr. Blunt mentioned, the board at its last meeting on July 30th did unanimously approve and recommend the transfer to the county of the acreage and personal property that you are considering today. Many great things were said about the county during those meetings, as Supervisor North and Supervisor Shepherd can attest to, and all present before voting unanimously affirmed that they felt that the action to be taken, the transfer, was in the best interest of the Commonwealth and of all of those served by the VRFA. I would like to thank Roanoke County and especially Doug Blunt and his staff for their excellent stewardship of Explorer Park beginning long before the lease in 2013. They, along with y'all's substantial investment in the park, have really turned it into a great asset for our region. Also like to thank Peter Lubeck and Rachel Lauer and their staff for helping shepherd the VRFA over the last few years and for getting all the documentation that I believe you said was in a packet that you've reviewed today. So thank to them for that. Finally, would like to thank my friend Greg Haley, who was legal counsel on a pro bono basis to the VRFA for probably 20-some years. I think it was his final act before, I think he retired 2 weeks ago, and I think this was his final act, was to help us get this accomplished again. So again, thank you very much. Really appreciate it, and I hope that you will consider the transfer favorably. Thank you.
Okay. All right, now I'll open it up to questions and comments. Board members, anybody want to start first?
Because nobody else wants to, I'll go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr.
And
North.
I'll make the motion. So if someone wants to speak before I make the motion. Anybody want to speak before I make the motion?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. 5 years ago, in January of 2020, before I was a member of the VRFA board that oversees Explorer Park, I discovered, and so did a few others, some General Assembly legislation sponsored by, at that time, Delegate Head. We looked into it and learned that it passed the General Assembly House of Delegates by a vote of about 98-1. Soon, it became before the Senate in the Agricultural Committee, but it never made it out of that committee. And to lobby for support for it to move out of the committee, Doug Blunt and I went to Richmond and visited early one morning with the powers that be. We were told that it would not be reporting out of committee that day, which meant that it would die on the table. We were given 4 things that had to be done for consideration in the future. One of them was to get support of the Bedford County Board of Supervisors. The other was to get support of the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors. And there was a few other house cleaning items as well. Since that time, we have gotten the support of those 2 boards, but also of the city of Roanoke to support this transfer. And so we did our homework. Little did we know, having lunch that day, looking at each other and what we were going to do next, did we realize that COVID was about to set in. In fact, on the way home, we heard about some COVID sickness that was beginning to spread across the country. For 2 years, the world shut down for all intents and purposes. But it didn't stop the desire to one day seek this land so that we could continue on the master plan. The plan that was made, when you work the plan and you plan, you work. And with that said, Mr. Chair, I'd like to move the motion, item C1, to adopt the ordinance.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Shepherd. Any discussion on the motion or comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'll just say that this is really a great day going forward and that it's finally here and we can celebrate after, I'm pretty sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd want to thank Tucker for all of his work as chairman of the VRFA, and we had a lot of discussions with the 99-year lease, and I think Doug's summation of the history, it has been a long, long journey. But I think with the support of citizens like Tucker Lemon and all the other citizens who served on the VRFA board and this county, this board, and what we have done and staff, and you look at the investment that our taxpayers have made. There were a lot of rough patches, but I think this is an opportunity. It'll really be a success.
Yeah.
Just took a long time to get here.
Right, right.
All I can say is that I am very excited because this is actually in my district. And Doug, I can't wait to see exactly how much you make it grow.
And my comment, Doug, is, you know, you helped shepherd a lot of those improvements in that adventure plan along with the staff. I mean, I remember when you came along in 2011, you were out there at the Green Hills Rec Center when we first met. But, you know, I think through the vision and just spurring a lot of that plan along, you have really helped solidify that. And then Mr. North, I mean, he took a lot of personal time to get this across the finish line. And just to let the county taxpayers know, this is the biggest land purchase that we've had in our history. And it is now an asset on our balance sheet. If you're from the business world, you know, that's pretty significant. So maybe that might help our rating one day, Rebecca. So,
Yes,
yeah, you never know. Anyway, any more comments? And hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hooker?
Yes.
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Radford?
An enthusiastic yes. Thank you. Now we come off that high and move to item D, new business. Sorry, that was a big deal. Resolution authorizing the county of Roanoke, the county, to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Roanoke County Public Schools to incorporate RCPS vehicles into the county's fleet management software. Ashley Keene, Director of General Services, welcome.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Our General Services Department uses the web-based version of a product called Faster to manage our fleet and garage operations. The department transitioned to this product in 2022 after using the desktop version since 1998. Roanoke County Public Schools uses the desktop version of this product that will no longer be supported after August 31st, and therefore they must transition to the web-based version. The web-based version of Faster has the capability to migrate the database of the schools into our system while keeping the two organizations completely separate. This would save the schools $49,893.40 for their initial implementation cost. The county and schools would both benefit from splitting the maintenance and support costs associated with the product, which would save the county $9,092 and the schools $17,860.68 annually. The resolution before you authorizing the execution of this memorandum of understanding will reduce the operating costs of the Fleet Services Division of General Services and the Transportation Department of Roanoke County Public Schools. Staff recommends approval of this resolution, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions for Ms. King?
No questions.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the motion?
I just want to thank Ms. King and her staff. The numbers don't sound like a lot, but I think it is reflective of the continued cooperation we have with our public school system. You don't think of this as being critical, but this is important for the transportation of the kids to school. And if we can work together and save both county and the schools money, great move. Thank you, Ashley.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, and, kudos to the school system for taking that software all the way to the sunset.
The end.
And I mean, that's what you want to do. We want to be thrifty with our money, and
Yeah.
they took it all the way to the very point. And so now they're getting into helping launch the web version of it. So that's a great accomplishment on their part.
I'd like to just add one little final comment. I want to challenge Ashley, and I want to challenge the rest of our staff and county administration. There are other ways that we can work together to save money with our schools, and I hope this is just the beginning.
Most certainly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hooker.
Yes.
Mr. North.
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney.
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd.
Yes.
Mr. Radford.
Yes. We move to item C2, resolution supporting the design and limited access control changes for the Interstate 81 widening project from exit 143 to exit 150, Catawba and Hollins Magisterial Districts. Megan Cronice, Assistant Director of Planning. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I have a brief presentation today with an Interstate 81 overview and information about the widening project between exit 143 and exit 150. Did we skip ahead one? Help me, Rhonda. I don't use Macs, that's the problem. Okay. My apologies. This map is here for two reasons. One is to show that we used this at the Glenver Center Plan Community Meeting earlier this year. It was a hot topic. There were a lot of folks who were interested in the status of Interstate 81, particularly because the next section that we will be talking about in the future, and there's more details on it in this presentation, from exit 137 at Wildwood Road to 128 at Roanoke, is very close to the folks in the Glenver Center Plan area. But this also gives an overview of the entire Interstate 81 section within Roanoke County, and shows that the purple section from 141 to 143 is complete. The sections in green are currently under construction, and we'll talk about the northern one today, and then orange is coming very soon. So the first project I'd like to talk about, this is slightly old but still important, Interstate 81, exit 141 at Route 419 to 143, which is at Route 311, the auxiliary lane project. This is both northbound and southbound. In September of 2015, 10 years ago now, this board approved a resolution supporting a Roanoke Valley Transportation Planning Organization Smart Scale application for a northbound auxiliary lane. In September of 2016, the board again approved a resolution supporting a smart scale application for a southbound auxiliary lane. Both of those projects were funded in rounds 1 and 2 of smart scale. They were designed together and constructed by branch. The new lanes were completed in 2022. After that time, we spent a lot of time reviewing and commenting on the Interstate 81 Corridor Improvement Program. In 2018, the Commonwealth Transportation Board approved the I-81 Corridor Improvement Plan, or CIP. And in 2019, the General Assembly adopted legislation creating the Interstate 81 Corridor Improvement Fund to fund the CIP. Several projects in the Salem District were included. And the map at the bottom shows in the exhibit from October of 2019, all of the sections that were slated for widening and funded for improvement between Christiansburg at exit 118 and Troutville at exit 150. There is one missing piece that we'll talk about in a moment. The next project is Interstate 81, exit 137 at Wildwood Road to 141 at Route 419 widening. This is both northbound and southbound. This was the next project to move forward and the first project in the 81 CIP. In mid-2020, VDOT started preliminary engineering. In February of 21, a virtual public hearing was held on the project during COVID. December of '21, the Board of Supervisors adopted a resolution supporting the design and limited access control changes for that project. We're requesting a similar action today for this next phase of Interstate 81. In February of 2022, Archer Western Construction began construction of the project, and in January 2026, within 6-ish months, the project is anticipated to be complete. The next project is the subject project for today, exit 143 to exit 150 at Route 220. This is both northbound and southbound directions as well. In early 2021, VDOT started the preliminary engineering phase. On September 19th, 2023, a public hearing was held on the project at Lower Botetourt High School. In July of 2024, the Commonwealth Transportation Board awarded the design-build contract for the project to Branch Civil. In early 2025, construction activities began. In fall of 2025, a Pardon Our Dust meeting will be held to inform the public of the anticipated impacts from the construction project. And in summer of 2031, construction is anticipated to be complete. The next project is exit 137 at Wildwood Road to exit 128 at Roanoke widening, both northbound and southbound directions. In early of 2023, VDOT started the preliminary engineering phase for the northbound widening. In December of 2023, the Commonwealth Transportation Board supported a CIP amendment to the 81 plan to add the southbound widening to the project, which was a huge deal because building northbound and southbound at the same time saved $75 million over the lifetime of the project. In late 2025, VDOT will issue a request for qualifications for the design-build project. In late '25, early '26, VDOT will hold a design public hearing. In early 2026, VDOT will issue a request for proposals for the project, and then in '26 and '27, construction activities are anticipated to begin. That project is anticipated to conclude in 2035. In summary, I've listed all of the projects we've talked about today with their budgets and completion dates for a total of over $1.5 billion of interstate improvements within the Roanoke Valley. So I thought that was important to include. Now, these projects they do also grow from small to large, so each one has greater mileage, but it's a significant investment in the Roanoke Valley. The request before you today is VDOT has requested that the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors and the Botetourt County Board of Supervisors approve resolutions to support the design and limited access control changes for the Interstate 81 project between exit 143 at Interstate 581 and exit 150 at Route 220 in Troutville. In Roanoke County, the design includes constructing one additional lane in both directions within the median, modifications to the bridge over Bellhaven Road and the Plantation Road Bridge over Interstate 81, installation of sound walls along the south side of Interstate 81 adjacent to residential properties along Buckland Mill Road and along the St. Francis Service Dogs property, and inclusion of stormwater management infrastructure. The limited access right-of-way changes within Roanoke County include minor changes and adjustments to the Interstate 81 limited access right-of-way and proposed acquisition of 3 undeveloped parcels. The resolution has been updated to include distribution to all CTB members instead of just to Dr. Smoot, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
Any questions for Ms. Cronin?
Mr. Chair, I just want to say, as a member of the 81 Commission, along with Dr. Smoot, I want to thank the board here today for passing this resolution and for all the work that's been done along that corridor. It's a lot of money. But most importantly, I want to thank members of the General Assembly, not only those elsewhere, but those here in this area that have supported this effort, and in large part, Delegate Austin in particular, who's also chaired the 81 Commission, has been instrumental. And if we look at the projects along the corridor, I would tell you that we have probably more mileage covered so far than some of our other planning districts, although certainly they're going to get their share in the future, especially in the Stanton District, as well as Bristol. So I think this is a great accomplishment, and it was sorely needed, and it's going to put pressure, though, on the future maintenance of these roads going forward. So the Commonwealth of Virginia's Department of Transportation is going to have a huge maintenance task in the future with these additional roads that are needed, but also with the tunnel that's about to come on. So as the budget swells with regards to projects, it also is largely a hit. It largely follows the maintenance as well. So with the transportation subject and department in the state of Virginia is going to have its work cut out for them and needs of more dollars going forward in the future. And I hope that I can be a small part of that, but I also hope that we can get the money because we're going to need to maintain what we build. And so, good job, and certainly look forward to the vote. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
I want to thank Ms. Cronice for this overview. It's, in a way, it's a little misleading because over the years, this board and prior boards have looked at each little segment, but it's good to see the overview. And in a way, it's kind of depressing and sobering to see how much time it takes and how expensive it is to accomplish something that is a critical need.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming government. I know how our citizens can be frustrated by this. So it's very important. You got to go through a citizen process. You got to go through a public process. You have to include the citizens. You have to find the money. You have to do the design. But it sure takes a long time to accomplish something that is critically needed. It got me thinking, I kind of wonder, when President Eisenhower back in the 1950s talked about building the interstate highway system, I don't know if we could do that again today. I don't know if we could afford that.
No, that would be an interesting question to have to try and answer for sure.
Thank you, Megan. This was very informative. Thank you.
Yeah, as we have seen the growth in our region and the traffic that comes through 81, growing up close to 81 and seeing a lot of the traffic accidents, I look forward to the 6 lanes for safety, really for safety. And there'll be improvements built into this new section to help with that, with the signs and the lighting. So, you know, looking forward to that. It's like getting a new model year. So, yeah, it takes a while, but technology catches up with us and helps us with that new road bed that we're going to get. So, Megan, thanks a lot for that overview. I agree with Mr. Mahoney. It was good to see the dollar amount. That's a lot of money. So, any other comments? Yes.
I'll just make one quick comment in that in the West County area, Catawba District, it is really profoundly impactful when the interstate will be completed. And, you know, for every little, you know, accident, whether it is small or large, causes a real impact on the 11460 corridor. Right. And so we really look forward to this being completed. Once again, we appreciate your presentation and summary of the whole project because, to everyone's point, this is sorely needed, been needed for a long time. I was especially pleased about the consolidation of the northbound and southbound sections so that we save taxpayers, not we personally, but it was saved. What was it, 75 million?
Yes, ma'am.
And I mean, that's substantial in the big picture. So appreciate your good work. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Yeah. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution, but I also want to say that that 70 million covered about 2 miles of construction. And in conversation with Dr. Smoot, he'd like to make sure that all the members of the CTB, which includes the Secretary of Transportation, receive a copy of this resolution. And I think Peter's office can help with that if needed because we talked briefly the other day. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. North made the motion. I will second the motion. Do I have any further discussion on the motion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hooker?
Yes.
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Radford?
Yes. We move to item 3, resolution accepting the Purdue Pharma bankruptcy plan and approving of the county's participation in the proposed direct settlement of opioid-related claims against the Slackler family and directing the county's outside counsel to execute the documents necessary to accept the plan and effectuate the county's participation in the settlement. Peter Lubick, County Attorney. Welcome, Mr. Lubick. And I probably didn't pronounce that family name correctly.
No, very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Great to be with you before you today. The name is the Sackler family.
Thank you.
But both of the board's next 2 items, D3 and D4, both relate to proposed settlements in the board's ongoing opioid litigation matters. And for this matter, D3, again, this is the approval of a resolution, first of all, accepting the proposed Purdue Pharma bankruptcy plan, and second, approving a proposed direct settlement of claims against the Sackler family, who owned and controlled Purdue Pharma. Purdue Pharma is the company that developed and marketed the highly addictive opioid painkiller OxyContin. And the family's control of Purdue Pharma led to significant financial gains for the Sacklers, as OxyContin sales generated billions of dollars in revenue. But this financial success was accompanied by severe social consequences, as we know, as Purdue Pharma's aggressive marketing of OxyContin contributed significantly to the opioid crisis. Purdue Pharma and its affiliates, after this opioid litigation commenced, filed for bankruptcy protection in 2019 to address its debt and to settle lawsuits related to its role in the opioid epidemic. And after years of negotiations, a new settlement has been put forth to resolve the bankruptcy and settle pending claims. Many state attorneys general, including our Attorney General Miyares, have approved, and it is now time for localities to decide whether to approve. As with prior settlements, the ultimate payout is dependent upon the number of localities that participate in the settlement. Through our outside counsel, the board has filed a proof of claim in the bankruptcy, which entitles this board to vote on whether the bankruptcy court should accept or reject the new proposed bankruptcy plan, and that, of course, would be handled by our outside counsel if the board approves today's resolution. Our outside counsel does recommend that the board votes to approve the proposed plan and to approve the direct settlement as well. Once enough subdivisions in the Commonwealth have voted on this plan, a confirmation hearing will be held to finalize the plan, and this will most likely take place in November of 2025. It is proposed by Purdue Pharma and the Sackler family to provide a nationwide settlement of $4.5 billion in total. It is estimated that through the bankruptcy estate distributions and the direct settlement with the Sackler family, combined, Virginia will receive approximately $104 million. These funds will be distributed pursuant to the terms of the Memorandum of Understanding between the boards, the localities, and the Commonwealth, which we refer to as the Virginia MOU. Approximately $39.7 million will be allocated directly to the participating localities in Virginia over the lifespan of the settlement. This is estimated to be about 15 years in duration. I calculate that Roanoke County's portion would be approximately $594,706. Again, this would just be the direct payments directly to the county. Other funds would be available through grants through the Virginia Opioid Abatement Authority. It is the recommendation of staff for the board to follow the recommendation of outside counsel and to approve the resolution before you today. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Lubeck? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that the board approve the resolution at item D3 that would authorize our outside counsel to approve the Purdue Pharma bankruptcy plan and also to participate in the direct settlement with the Sackler family.
All right. Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. I have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hooker?
Yes.
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Radford?
Yes. That moves us to item 4, resolution approving of the county's participation in the proposed settlements of the opioid-related claims against, I'll try all these names. They look like abbreviations. These are all the drug companies or entities. The first one was Alvogen, Ammonel, Apoxtic, Hycom, I can't even say that one, Indivor, Mylan, Sun, Sundus, and their related corporate entities. and directing the county's outside counsel to execute the documents necessary to effectuate the county's participation in the settlements. Mr. Lubeck.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. And yes, this next item is with regards to a settlement that has been negotiated collectively with a group of 8 manufacturers that have become known for settlement purposes as the Group of 8. And it is the 8 that were just named by Mr. Chairman: Alvogen, Amneal, Apotex, Hikma, Indivio, Mylan, Sun, Zydus, and each of their corporate entities. And they propose collectively a nationwide settlement of approximately $720 million. The total funds to Virginia would be $16.4 million, and pursuant to the terms of the Virginia MOU, $6.273 million will be allocated directly to participating localities. Roanoke County's estimated receipt would be approximately $94,000. Again, these would be the funds directly paid to the county, with additional funds potentially available through the Opioid Abatement Authority. 5 of the manufacturers will make the settlement payment in one lump sum. The other 3 will make payments over a period of several years, one over 10 years, one over 4, and one over 9. And it is again the recommendation from staff that the board approve the resolution approving the county's participation in the proposed settlement. And again, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Yeah, Ms. Mahoney.
Mr. Lubeck, with respect to this item and also the previous item, what if all the localities do not? I mean, is it a majority vote or supermajority vote? Or if you were a locality that did not agree, would everybody else be able to do the settlement? And then you, if that locality did not want to participate, then it'd be up to that locality to litigate on their own?
That is correct, Mr. Supervisor Mahoney. So those that do wish to participate may participate in the settlement. The settlement distribution would be affected if all the localities do not participate. So the amounts that other localities, the participating localities, would receive would be diminished. This larger amount is proposed in an effort to achieve global peace, is the term that they use. If the global peace is not secured, then the settlement amounts would be diminished, but it would foreseeably go forward. Those localities that do not participate would continue to litigate against the manufacturers.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move the approval of this item, but also just want to mention that on our consent agenda, item F6, we actually see sort of the success, if you will, of the initiatives that Mr. Lubeck and outside counsel have been pursuing, and also Madeline Hanlon in the county. So it's not just receiving money, but we're also beginning to use those dollars to address some of the addiction problems in our community. So I think it's a positive step. It's a long step, but I think it's a good step. So unless anybody else has a question, I would move the approval of item D4.
Okay, we've got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, great. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hooker?
Yes.
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Radford?
Yes, thank you. We move to item 5, resolution approving an interim agreement between Roanoke County and S. Lewis Lineberger Construction Company regarding pre-construction services for the Hollins Library. Georgia Said, Capital Projects Administrator, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the board. In February of this year, S. Lewis Lineberger Construction Company submitted a competing proposal in response to an unsolicited conceptual phase proposal submitted by another contractor for the redevelopment of the Hollins Library. After much consideration, the PPEA Contractor Selection Committee recommended negotiations with S. Lewis Lineberger Construction. Before entering into a comprehensive or interim agreement, we had to meet the statutory requirement of the PPEA process to involve the public by holding a public hearing on the proposals received no less than 30 days prior to entering into an agreement. This public hearing was held on June 24th. The purpose of this resolution is to request approval of an interim agreement between Roanoke County and S. Lewis Lineberger Construction Company for pre-construction services for the Hollins Library, which includes, among other services, site and building plan designs, cost estimating, value engineering, and constructability reviews. If the board approves this staff recommended resolution, the county will pay S. Lewis Lineberger Construction Company $837,500 for the agreed-upon pre-construction services. This agreement includes a preliminary guaranteed maximum price, which is shown in the package's Exhibit 4, of approximately $9.15 million. This GMP includes anticipated costs to redevelop the building, construction administration fees, a cost escalation contingency, a 15% renovation contingency, and funds for furniture, fixtures, and equipment. Based on the design schedule shown as Exhibit 6 of the agreement, it is anticipated that the design and construction documents will be completed in April of 2026, with a request to the board to approve a comprehensive agreement for construction in May of 2026. Construction is anticipated to take between 12 and 14 months. Construction schedule will be better defined once we get further into the construction documents. Representative of Sam Lineberger is here for S. Lewis Lineberger, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions? Mr. Assad, from the board members? No?
George, I want to thank you for your efforts in this regard. When you were on the board a few years ago, I know you and I talked about this project, and it was way out yonder in the year 2030 or 31, and we found an opening, and George said, hey, there's an opening there. It's a big zero. I'm like, yeah, okay. We'll move the library project to 2026. And that seemed like eons ago, and it's been 8 years, and a goal of mine to see this library come to fruition, and it's getting there. And I'm sure that with Lineberger Construction, everything's going to work out just fine, especially the construction. And I look forward to the ribbon cutting one day when we can show off a fine product that's going to enlighten the citizens of Highlands and Roanoke County. And thank you for everything you've done in this regard.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Mr. North, I'm looking forward to that being updated because my sisters and I used it heavily in high school. And so we all went to Andrew Lewis, but we would come back to our home area and go to Hollins. And I remember my mom forcing me to the summer reading program. My sisters were great with it, but I had a hard time with that. But looking forward to, updating that library and getting it looking and functioning like efficiently like the other libraries we have. But thank you very much for
and I appreciate the board members' support along the way. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was looking for was the motion.
If no one else has any comments, I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution before us.
All right, we have a motion. I'll second that. Any further discussion on the motion? Okay, and hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hooker?
Yes.
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Radford?
Yes. We move to item E, first reading of ordinance 1. Ordinance of the Board of Supervisors of the County of Roanoke, Virginia, approving the lease financing of various capital projects for the county and authorizing the leasing of certain county-owned property, the execution and delivery of a prime lease, and a local lease acquisition agreement, and finance lease, and other related actions. Laurie Gearhart, Director of Finance and Management Services. Welcome, Ms. Gearhart.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Today, I present the proposed ordinance for your approval, which authorizes the issuance of lease revenue bonds for the fiscal year 25-26 capital projects as detailed in the approved fiscal year 26-35 capital improvement program. The lease revenue bonds will provide funding primarily for the redevelopment of the Hollins Library, renovation and expansion of the Hollins Fire Station, construction and reconstruction of a portion of the county's parking lots and sidewalk replacements, along with trail connections and other capital improvements at Explorer Park, design and build of 4 single-stall restroom buildings in our park system, development of a left turn lane along Sanderson Drive, and construction of a lift station and force main system connecting the 6200 Bent Mountain Road to the existing sewer collection system. The proposed structure of the bonds are lease revenue bonds through the Virginia Resource Authority in the amount of up to $21 million of bonds, a true interest cost not to exceed 6%, with a term to maturity not to exceed 20 years. This is an estimate of the maximum borrowing authority that the county may need. The amount of the bonds the county issues will depend on interest rates, conditions in the marketplace at the time of the bond sale. The proposed bond issuance in the amount of not to exceed approximately $21 million will allow the county to stay within its limits of the county debt policy approved by the board. Staff recommends approval of the first reading of the ordinance and scheduling the second reading for September 9th, 2025.
Do I have a motion to approve the first reading of the ordinance and schedule the second reading for September 9th, 2025?
Mr. Chairman, I move item E1.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the motion?
Yes, sir. Okay. When's the VRA planning to do their issuance? Is it October?
First estimate's October 18th.
And you're thinking interest rate's going to be 6?
We're hoping that it's going to stay within 4 to 4.5. At this point, when we had our due diligence call with Peter Dilemma, who was with the VRA, he indicated that at the moment, they still anticipate that the bonds will sell at a premium, but, you know, who knows? But we are hoping that it'll be no more. Today, it's 4.5%, so we're hoping it kind of sticks to that. But we won't know until.
I don't anticipate, the Fed is supposed to meet in September.
September.
But I don't think they're going to lower the rates.
No.
Interest is still, inflation is still 2.7 to 3, depending on which CPI you want to use.
Yes.
So I was hoping to be lower.
Yeah.
Thank
We're
you.
just
Know about
hoping that
that.
it'll stick to that. So.
We'll see in September when the Fed meets.
We'll see.
I hope they go down.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that comment. I got one other question. So while we're talking about improvements, parking to Explorer Park, this is really toward Mr. Blunt, but what about cell service? Have we explored that and talked about that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's something on the horizon for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, any other comments, discussions? I was going to say broadband, I looked over at Martha. Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hooker?
Yes.
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Radford?
Yes. Thank you.
I will make just one comment on the heels of this. The library is a full-scale renovation. It's nowhere near a new library, and we didn't have to purchase land, so we're saving $5 million off the get-go, never mind the guaranteed maximum price that will be shared with us later. So that was able to allow other projects to be accomplished that are named in the package today.
And I'm glad that the
Yeah.
county is going to keep that property on Peters Creek. That's just,
Absolutely.
highly visible, easy to access.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Mr. North. We move to item F, consent agenda. All the materials listed under the consent agenda are considered to be, by the board, to be routine and will be acted by one resolution in the form or forms listed below. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Does any board member wish to remove any item from the consent agenda? Okay, not seeing any. Do I have a motion to adopt all the matters on the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I move the approval of the 8 items on our consent agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Mrs. Hooker?
Yes.
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Radford?
Yes. We move to item G, citizens' comments and communications. Are there any citizens wanting to address the board that have not submitted a form? Do you have any, clerk? Okay, very good. We will move to item H. Is there a motion to receive and file the reports that have been included with the agenda under item H?
Motion.
Thank
Motion
you.
to
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hooker?
Yes.
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Radford?
Yes. We move to item I, reports and inquiries of board members. Ms. Hooker, you are first.
I have just a couple of things, Mr. Chairman, to mention regarding events of the last few weeks. We had a very successful VACO visit, and we had a good representation from this board that attended. We advocated for a more accurate formula for the public notice of effective tax rate to factor in inflation, and it was well received. Serving as chair of the Education Committee, we had a successful committee meeting, and we were able to share the formula for revenue sharing that Roanoke County has been using since 2014, I believe, and it was well received. Sometimes we don't realize the things that we have and use are so novel to other communities, and it was very well received. They appreciated us sharing that information. Not last Saturday, but the Saturday prior, met with the North Lakes Neighborhood Watch, and there were about 35 people in attendance. We had a good showing from staff too, and really appreciated their attendance because it was really critical to the discussion on several safety issues, and namely traffic. Had Roanoke County administration, staff, and neighbors, and it was really a great meeting. I feel like it was really well appreciated. Appreciate those that came and supported that event. Last Saturday, we went to the Festival of India, and again, we had great representation from Roanoke County there, and what a hospitable group, and they were so kind to us. They're so respectful of government in general, and really wished us well. It was really a great reception, and they have such a great community of businesses and entrepreneurs, and do a lot for our community. So it was a great event also. And then we also had the Farm to Table dinner to raise funds for the Catawba Farmers Market, and that was 3 Saturdays. It's been a while since we had a meeting.
Yeah.
and it was a great dinner. I'd like to say thank you specifically to Nellie Philpott for attending with Evan and coming and enjoying that event. It was really great to be with all the Catawba farmers and people who are interested in the farmers market, and Nellie was really a great ambassador. So that's all for now, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hooker. Mr. Mahoney?
In the interest of time, I will pass, sir.
Okay, Ms. Shepherd.
Well, I actually am not going to pass and do have several things.
Great.
On Friday, July 25th, we had the DSS cookout where Martha and I attended and were able to serve the employees at and also Rebecca. We served the employees of the jail, the courthouse, and DSS. And I always enjoy going to those and getting to meet other people that work throughout the county. And I think this upcoming week, we are going to be attending the public safety building, so I'm excited about that. On Tuesday, August 5th, I attended National Night Out in Vinton, and we had a great turnout of people coming. We also had a great turnout from the Roanoke County Police Department, the Vinton Police Department, the Roanoke County Sheriffs were there. And I don't think I'm missing anyone else department-wise that were there, but that was a great turnout, and we enjoyed that. On Thursday, August the 14th, I attended the Mount Pleasant Community Meeting, and it was a good turnout at that, but I just want to throw out a thank you to Chief Poindexter and Assistant Chief Johnson, and, okay, I keep screwing this up. I'm not sure if it's Commander or Sergeant Short. Commander that attended, and I really want to thank you all for coming and meeting with the citizens and clearing up how some things work and don't work. And after the meeting the next day, and actually several days since, I have gotten multiple thank yous from the citizens, And they were all really excited to have learned quite a bit from you all. So thank you for taking the time and coming that evening. And then finally, all of my counterparts attended VACO this week, so I was able to fill in for Supervisor Mahoney and attend the ribbon cutting for the sheets on 220, AKA Tanglewood sheets. And that is a really nice place. It's going to be a great asset and helpful with the economic development in Roanoke County. So thank you for letting me attend on your behalf.
Thank you.
And that is all I've got.
Well, thank
Which is
you.
a lot.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, Mr. North.
Well, I'm going to use Mr. Mahoney's time and mine too, I'm afraid. And some of this is repetitious, but you know, what do I know? I didn't know Doug Blunt was going to give us a history lesson that was so well received, so I'll cut out some of the details as best I can. On July 30th, you know, the state committee, the VRFA, voted unanimously on Explore Park, 1,100 acres of Explore Park in Roanoke and Bedford counties to Roanoke County ownership. I want to thank Senator Head and Delegate Davis for their sponsorship of the legislation that they garnered through the General Assembly. I also want to thank all 140 members of the General Assembly, not by name, but most importantly the governor for signing the legislation and the support of both this board and Bedford County's Board of Supervisors, but also Roanoke City for coming through there and supporting it in December of last year. We've been good stewards of the property over the years. You heard Mr. Blunt talk about how much money we've invested. We appreciate the transfer in Roanoke County and accept this land for the citizens of the beautiful Roanoke Valley, as I used to call it when I moved here in 1983. Every time we took off from the airport, I used to look down and say, that's the beautiful Roanoke Valley, and Roanoke County and Bedford County citizens. What this means now is we have to work our plan some more. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing happen in the future with many more amenities. And you know, if those 2,400 bikers that participated last month is any indication of the future success, and 1,000 people that attended last Friday night in the hot, humid weather at Explorer Park to listen to some good music, then the sky is the limit. We're going to have some fun. So I want to thank at this time. In fact, I'd like for everyone to give a round of applause to Doug Blunt for his leadership on this project since he came to Roanoke County. And one day, maybe we'll see a bronze statue erected at Explorer Park. So, would someone get his measurements and height so we can make sure we get the mold right? So, there are many places I've gone in my lifetime, and I'm sure there'll be some more. But when you talk about quiet and solitude, there's only two places that I've ever been able to pull over and think, hear myself actually think when it's completely quiet. And one of those places is Explorer Park. And before I moved to Roanoke County, the only other place was a little bit further up the road from where Mr. Kaywood grew up in Amherst, and that was Nelson County, when you could hear yourself think because it was so quiet. So I just want to ask yourselves this hanging question. Where do you go to have your moment of quietness that you remember year after year? So something to think about. August 11th, I attended the 5-hour with Tammy Shepard.
I sat at the bathroom.
5-hour RVARC strategic planning session. We're going to go with another strategic plan here in the Roanoke Valley, and we're going to share more on that once we finish it.
You get me in trouble.
August 14th and 15th, we went to VACO. It was a great session. I just want to say, years ago, here's who used to go to VACO. Ruth Ellen, our county attorney, and me. And I got down there and said, this is great. Everybody needs to go. So today, I'm proud to say that everyone on this dais is on a committee of VACO. And we'll be going all together in November, all 5 of us. I think that's huge to have all this representation. So people know Roanoke County's on the map when we're there. So thank you. Just a quick note on 81, the status of some 65 projects. There are no projects in planning stage at the moment. There's 0 projects in preliminary engineering. There are 12 in design. There are 1 project is in right-of-way and utility coordination. There are 14 projects under construction, and 38 of the 65 projects along the corridor from Bristol all the way to the West Virginia Maryland state line have been completed. So that's huge. And also, as part of 81, that no one seems to remember, but it is part of the 81 funding, is growth of Amtrak's traffic along the Virginia corridor. Do you know that in 2019, we had 225,000 people ride the train? It dropped during pandemic, but last year, we had 343,585 ride, which increased 53% from pre-pandemic levels, and is continuing to grow. And that's part of the reason the funding for the DRPT was so successful, because it was trying to get people off I-81. I do want to give a shout out, though, to somebody that has been doing a great job, and in a short period of time. And he's accomplished much, I know, to help this board, and that's Josh Fridley, Constituent Services. Josh, we appreciate you. Keep up the good work. Don't burn out on us now. But he has really been helpful, I know, to me and to Tammy, and I'm sure to the rest of y'all up here in some way. And we still stay involved, but he keeps us posted, and he takes the lead on many of these things. So kudos to you, Josh. And lastly, Chairman Radford, I told you I was going to do this, but Supervisor Mahoney and I would like for you to reach out to the chair of the school board and touch base on any legislative items they might have that we'd like to tag along on and advocate for in Richmond if they so desire. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. North, you look like you got into some of my time. But don't worry, I got the last word.
You're the chairman. You got all the time.
That's right. Just a comment on a few of the events that we went to as a shared group. First will be VACO. We, like Mr. North said, we're all on different steering committees, and to Mr. North's accomplishments to getting us on a lot of those committees over the years, it's really important for us to be heard. And these committees are where the northern counties and the southern counties, central, we all get together. And so there's definitely a mixture of different insights on how some of these items should go forward in our state. So the one I'm on is Environmental, Energy, and Land Use Steering Committee. And we went over a legislative package. But while I was there, I learned an interesting fact. One of the things in energy is that we were talking about utility scale, renewable energy generation, and energy storage. Energy storage is becoming a big deal, where these companies will come in and they basically are a big battery. And I found out that graphene is a safer battery storage than lithium. Whatever that helps you today, I just thought that was pretty interesting. Moving on to the Festival of India, where we all attended that, but they recognized this year was our fire and rescue and our safety, our police and sheriff department, with a recognition. So I thought that went really well. Roanoke County, town of Vinton, and Roanoke City were both there representing those departments. And one last thing, the community survey for Roanoke County's housing market analysis study has been extended and will remain open until Friday, August the 22nd, this Friday. To take the survey and for more information on the study, visit the project website at roanokecountydva.gov//housing study. Thank you. And now I will move to item J, closed meeting pursuant to the Code of Virginia. I move to go into closed session pursuant to Code Section 2.2-3711A5 of the Code of Virginia for discussion concerning a prospective business or industry or the expansion of an existing business or industry where no previous announcement has been made of the businesses or industry's interest in locating or expanding its facilities in the community. Specifically, the board will discuss potential business location or expansion in the 5 ministerial districts. And Section 2.2-3711A3 of the Code of Virginia for discussion of consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body. Specifically, the board will discuss or consider the acquisition of real property in the Vinton Magisterial District. Do I have a second for that motion?
Second.
Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Hooker?
Yes.
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Radford?
Yes. Okay, so at this time, we will adjourn to the closed session.
More donors to the cause. Hi, I'm Nick Yee, Radio IQ's new Director of Content and Operations, reminding you that you can take Radio IQ with you wherever you go. Simply download the Radio IQ app and listen to your favorite NPR